Raven fans, today I want to bring you another look at the top 5s in my book that I purchased maybe a couple of weeks ago. I've loaded one video so far on it and we were going through it and I was filling it in and sharing with you my top 5 love of all the lists that are in here. Basically, if you haven't already watched the previous video on my top 5 lists, you should go look at it. Basically, it's a book and it comes with a bunch of top 5s in it, just examples there, and then you fill it in and I'm going to share with you my answers. So if you haven't already watched the first video, please do so. So basically you get a list here and it says the top 5 worst ways to break up, and the idea is that you fill it in and whatever you think is the top 5. So for me, the top worst ways to break up was by text. I put that because I think it's so inappropriate. It's like text, it's over. I mean, it could be as simple as just 2 words on a text. The next one was a phone call. Although a phone call is probably better than a text, it's still not as good as maybe telling the person, you know, face to face. It's still a bit, yeah. The third one was Facebook or using social media. So basically breaking up with someone with an Instagram where you post a picture maybe with the next girlfriend you're with, or post to Twitter saying hashtag it's over. I mean, it's very impersonal. The next one is by email. I don't know anyone that has ever been dumped by email, but I'm sure they have. And I'm sure they were probably as embarrassed as everybody else that read the email. And then the 5th way, I think, is probably not too bad, is in person. I think possibly in person is probably the best way to go. Breaking up is hard no matter whether you do it by text or in person. The next thing was the 5 best ways to make up. So once you've split up, if you then get back together, what are the 5 best things that whether you're male or female could do to maybe soften the blow of getting back together? So the first thing would be is that if you've done something wrong, would be to say sorry. That must be the most simple and easiest answer. Yes, it's hard to say sorry sometimes, but sometimes sorry is the hardest word. The second one would be if maybe it was for a girl, bring her a bunch of flowers. Even boys can have flowers, girls. Boys love a bunch of flowers as well. It makes them feel loved just as much as it does a woman. The third one I put was a hug. Sometimes a hug says everything. If you've split up, just having a hug and hugging it out can calm everything down, especially if you've had an argument, maybe not broken up, but just had an argument. The next one would be say, I miss you. I know you don't have to tell someone you miss them if you love them, but sometimes people just want to know they're loved, that they're missed, that they're cared for. And the 5th one was just giving them a call. You may have had an argument or you may have split, but a courtesy call if you broke up maybe on good terms or not so good terms, just to phone up and say just, hey, how you doing? You know, just want to check you're all right. It can mean a lot, and sometimes it's the start to fixing the argument. The next thing is the 5 things you should never do via text. So I put break up as the top answer. Breaking up by text, as you will see from the top 5 worst ways to break up, was one of my top answers, or the top answer. The next one was life-changing news. So maybe texting someone that you're going to divorce them, maybe not do it by text. Secrets. Now, the thing with texting is if you text it and you might send it to the wrong person, like, honey, come over tonight, I'm free, you could send it to the wrong person. You could send it to your actual boyfriend when you meant to send it to your significant secret other. So don't do that. Don't do secrets by text. Don't do secrets at all, even. The next one is rude pics. That goes without saying. Sending pics over social media or text is dangerous, no matter if it's to your own partner or to a random stranger. The next one is apologies. Apologies should always be done in person. A person will feel much more apologised to and a much more that you care about the apology is if you do it in person. So 5 words you should never use on your profile. So this is whether it's Instagram, social media, Tinder, any of the dating sites or your other social media. So the word crazy. So crazy can be taken in two different forms. Crazy could be as in wild crazy, or crazy could be as in psychotic. Crazy is probably not one of the best things to put on your page. The other one is mad. Now, mad can be devised as a number of ways, depending whether you put I'm mad about cats, or I'm mad about mass suicide or murder. I mean, there are some weird people out there. Now, obsessive was my third one. So if you put on your profile that you're an obsessive fan of Justin Bieber, I mean, how far is obsessive? Do you just have a picture? Do you have a shrine in your house? Do you traipse around the country following the person? The next one is easy. If you put you're a tall, blonde, easy person, not the best idea. And the same for a man. Easy makes you sound... it's not good. So weird. Now weird can be different. Weird to some people can be alright. Weird to other people can be a bit creepy, a bit odd. So maybe steer clear of that as well. So the 5 best films of all time. Probably controversial, but mine happen to consider virtually every film that Johnny Depp has ever done. So my first one was Sweeney Todd. I love a good musical, and Johnny Depp being in it, killing people and singing at the same time. Next one is Edward Scissorhands. Again, another kind of musical, creepy kind of song. Not necessarily a musical, but the music in it is absolutely gorgeous. The third one is From Hell. If you don't know what From Hell is, it was to do with Jack the Ripper. It was a film that Johnny Depp was in as well. Public Enemies was also a Johnny Depp film. That was where he played a gangster. That's a really good movie. You should watch that too. And then number 5 was one of Johnny Depp's recent films, which was called Dark Shadows. It was more a comedy, weird kind of film. You should check that out as well. So we'll do a couple more. So foods that should be banned from the cinema. So the top one I put was crisps. I can't stand people that come to the cinema and all they do is chomp, 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 chomp on crisps. They open the bag, they rustle the bag, just stop. The next one would be wrapped sweets. Boiled, wrapped, any kind of sweet that has a wrap. They go, nee, 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 nee. You know, the whole crispy wrapper. No. Makes way too much noise. Now for me personally, hot dogs smell. Proper hot dogs, like proper hot dogs, I can't stand the smell. So maybe not for everybody to be banned, but maybe banned from where I am. The next one is drinks with straws. I can't stand when people slurp. They get to the bottom of the drink, there's hardly any in it, and then they go and they slurp and slurp, and it's like, seriously, there's nothing left in it, just stop. And number 5 is takeaways. Anything that has a pungent aroma shouldn't be in a cinema, because it just circulates with the air conditioning, and it just, no. I've seen people go in there with sandwiches before and come up with little containers with stuff, and no. I know it's expensive at the cinema, but please, no. So we'll do 2 more quickly. This is the 5 worst places for a date. The top one I put was movie theatre. Although a movie is a good icebreaker, you don't really get to talk to the person because you're so fixated in the movie. Maybe a movie date would be more further down the line once you've got to know each other, and that you can assess each other, and then you can maybe pick a film that you both like. The next one is a museum. Museums are okay, but some museums you have to be quiet in, you're not allowed to talk. So it can be a bit of a hard place to get a conversation going, depending on whether you have to be quiet or not. The next one was a concert. So a concert is a great date, but not a first date. Depending on what concert you go to, it could be loud, it could be noisy, there'd be pushing and shoving. It's just not a very good idea to take a girl on a date to a mosh pit first time. Next would be the beach. The beach isn't the worst place for a date, but trying to convince a woman maybe to get in a bikini on a beach for the first date, maybe not a good idea. Although a beach can be quite of a fun date, especially if you took them maybe to an amusement park that was next to the beach. But things like walking on the beach and that should be left a bit further on. And then your house is a terrible idea for a first date. You might think it's a great idea, but the best thing for a first date is somewhere neutral. Not your house, not their house, somewhere else. A picnic in the park, a trip to the zoo, anything like that. But don't bring them back to your house on a first date unless you want to seem overly keen. And then the last one, the 5 best places for a date. So we're going from worst to best. Is a picnic in the park. Picnic is a great icebreaker. You get to sit there in the open, you have a picnic, you can talk, you can go for a walk, so you can get to know each other. The next one is bowling. Bowling can be a great idea. You can both be as terrible as bowling as each other. There's a bar in there, so you can have a drink, or there's food in there as well, depending on if you eat at the thing. They also have amusements at the bowling alleys as well. So it's kind of an all fun day. Next would be a bar or a pub, depending on how noisy your bar is or your pub. Going for a drink down the local could be quite good. You get to sit and talk and listen to each other. A restaurant, debatable. I've put it down for a date. It depends what you mean by a restaurant. Let's not go to a candlelit restaurant on the first date with flowers, chocolates and woo the girl too much. I mean, that's just coming on too strong. But maybe a restaurant like Pizza Hut, take it to KFC, take it to somewhere a little less posh or a little less pressure to be dressed to the nine, look perfect, act perfect, and, you know, put on a persona maybe. And then the last place is just for a walk. Meet up by a riverside or something, just go for a walk, for a stroll, maybe pick up a coffee. And just have a nice leisurely afternoon, just getting to know each other. So if you haven't already, like, subscribe to my channel. This is something new I'm trying. So far I think you're all loving it. I don't know. Obviously time will tell. But we have plenty to go through. If you want to check out this book for yourself, I bought it from The Works online. I think it was around £3, but as you can see, there's plenty more to go, and I will spend some more time today filling it in, so we can talk more about my choices. Obviously, these choices are my own, and they're only my top 5. Obviously, some of you might disagree. So, if you disagree with any of my answers, comment down below with what you think are the top 5 for each of these, or the top 3, or just your number 1 for each of them, and I will comment back with a reply to each of your answers. So like, subscribe to my channel, follow me on social media. We're just about to hit 3,000 views on my videos, and my subscribers is going up slowly. So like and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon for another video. Bye!